And this is where we find out that Lucy is truly cursed.
Yeah.
Because a drawer opens up, a steak knife flies out, and it nearly almost hit her head.
Yeah.
It's been Patty's dream.
Anyway, I really do think you're correct that Lucy is like barely avoiding death in every single episode.
No,
like how has she not been hit by the mizzen when she's up on deck? How?
There is a kind of there's a biblical war for her soul going on. There are angels protecting her. There are demons trying to kill her, and she has no fucking idea what's going on. So it's a weird one. It's a collab. I mean, we don't know whose show this is, but we're just excited to be talking about the season finale of Below Deck with you, dear Jake.
Guys, this is really fun. Thank you for having me, and I'm glad to have you in this threesome, in this throuple.
I know it's so. Did you not?
Throuple.
I was so excited about that driving in rush hour. I thought about it today. I was like, it's so perfect. Hey, I'm going to go turn off the
video
arcade
game
that sounds like a police is coming right now. I'll be right back.
All right, Jake, do you mind? This is a trope that we use on another Below Deck podcast.
Of
course. At the top of the show, we have a rating system where we rate the episode by knots. So it's 1 out of 100 knots on how we felt about in this case, I guess the episode 16, episode 17. I'll just throw to you, Jake. What are your knots and thoughts on these episodes?
Knots and thoughts. Knots and thoughts.
Yeah.
I would say to me, I think this is about a 65. 70-ish. It's 70 for how awful the gays were.
Yeah.
This is, if you don't know about West Hollywood gay behavior, this is textbook.
This so is sad. I felt like they gave you such a bad or such a bad name.
This is awful. Although they had a lot of great quotes. Kaylin, you probably don't have the infrastructure to do this, but every time I give a gay quote, can you play "Can't Get You Out of My Head" by Kylie Minogue?
100%.
Or you can sing la, la, la. I just need to add one.
No, well, my computer's hooked in.
Use my phone and Bluetooth it.
No, we can do it in post, or we can just sing it. I think it would be more fun if we sang Kylie Minogue.
La, 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 la. All right, I want to say this.
You know Jake. What? If this is how we're dealing with, if this is how we're working with, if this is how we're dealing with each other in Sardinia, what the fuck are we even doing?
Yeah. All right, so Jake's breaking up. I'm sorry to interrupt your thoughts and knots. Jake is bringing
a cardinal sin of the podcast. You don't fucking do
this.
That.
This is what's fascinating about this. When I think about a throuple, I think, all right, so we got Randy. I think they said his Randy, whatever.
Ray.
Nick,
it was very confusing.
And we had Brad. When I think throuple on a vacation, right, you're thinking Ray is, I don't know, grabbing Nick's balls. Nick is then returning, I guess, kind of a favor to Ray.
Yeah.
And they're doing this while they're drinking Voo. This would be an amazing throuple.
Yeah.
Instead, everyone's pissed at each other. People are throwing up. That little weird looking one, I think his name is Nick. I believe he was the turd burglar.
That one is Brad. I had to literally do some flashcards here because the names came really fast and loose.
I gave up on it.
I did a little bit of Who's Who, that game, but it was Ray and Brad are the couple, the little guy, the pocket gay.
Yep.
So the pocket gay, y'all, I gotta say, Brad, the pocket gay, was the one who brought his mom, I believe. Which, y'all, that's a real gay move.
Yeah.
Bringing your mom on a cruise.
It's a super gay move. But sorry, these are your pots. I'm not gonna interrupt.
Yeah, I just want to say, Brad. So to me, I was trying to figure out what is this dynamic. And I would assume, as the resident gay historian here, I would tell you how I think it goes.
Yeah.
There is Randy / Ray, who is this kind of, who obviously has anger management issues and probably alcohol issues.
Yep.
And then there's Nick with just a scene, okay, who is their boyfriend.
Yeah.
And then there's Brad, who obviously has the money and who obviously does things. And Randy is the dumb one.
God damn it.
Anyway, I feel that Nick and Randy kind of pass Brad around like a volleyball.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just jumps on one dick and jumps on the other.
Yeah.
And it's just like ring toss.
Right.
Like Gary played.
Like, coat hanger cock toss.
Yeah, which was very, very similar to anal ring toss. Which is it's a thing that bachelor parties subject sex workers to. But I'm so proud of myself right now, Jake, because
Is that right?
I'm so happy as a straight man. I don't know if it was that difficult to suss out, but I did suss out exactly what you said. Ray does not make enough money to have a say in the matter, and he is very, very fucking mad about it. But Brad, what's his name? Brad or Brad? The little one.
Brad is the little
one. The
volleyball.
We'll call him Wilson. He is the one that gets to tell Ray what the fuck to do, and that's the dynamic here. I understand Ray's contempt for the situation, but what an asshole.
I think you nailed it. And Nick is there because Randy got tired of fucking Brad without competition. And he needs to get out he needs to somehow in a weird way compete because he needs to feel like he's better than Brad because he has no money. And obviously when Brad on a hot mic situation told his mom, I don't even have a prenup.
Oh God, you didn't have a prenup. I love that. This was one of the best episodes. If you don't mind, can I jump in with my thoughts and knots?
Jake, did you give your pots?
Yeah,
did you
65, 70.
I said 65 or 70, but only not because of the crew, because of the guests only.
Okay. All right.
The crew, we're doing the same thing.
Yeah. First off, I am so happy to have, as Jake pointed out, he is a gay historian.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will need to understand and dig deeper into all the drama at that dinner table because I couldn't make who's pissed at who, why are they pissed at Grant?
It's understandable.
Yeah.
But you probably understand what was going on.
I understood it perfectly, sadly, because this happens at Sir and Pump nightly.
Right.
These same conversations.
Very confounding.
Okay, so I love the episode. Dylan knows this. Jake, you probably don't, but I have a thought on what makes a great reality TV show. And it's, as you pointed out, it's horrible people. It's horrible guests. In this case, Randy is a horrible person, and I loved hating him. I loved hating him.
The saddest thing is when the villain turns into the hero or the heroine in the case of Potomac. Candace is beloved by people now, and it just makes me angry because she's just a demon. But anyways, go ahead.
Dylan, that's what's the best thing about reality TV is you have a 2-episode arc where you're looking a little bit better. We can completely turn you from being the most hated person in America to beloved.
Right. Yeah.
That unflushed turd in the toilet made me want to, and definitely it was the little org-looking motherfucker. He's the one who dropped that turd in there. Okay, that turd belonged to him.
He seems like he's got his stuff buttoned up. I think it was Ray. He's a fucking drunk.
Ray, or I think it's probably Ray because Ray's a pig. Yeah. But the little one had a look about him that like an imp. He does things to make people feel uncomfortable. because you can't trust a pocket gay, but you can, however, put them under your seat.
Yeah.
You can.
If you need to travel with them, or you can carry them like a clutch, because they're so small.
Yeah.
Yeah, and definitely it was the little guy that left that very little tiny little turtle. Okay. So I love this episode. Normally the last 4 episodes of any Below Deck season completely suck.
Oh, they're awful.
I will say this, just my general thoughts of the season overall. Was not in love with the story arc of the throuple. I like Daisy and Colin. I want my old sea dog Colin to just be the Dr. Phil and the little gossipy bitch that he's been for the past 3 seasons. I don't need him falling in love with Daisy. If he was going to be single, I would have preferred him to try some, underlings or something. And Gary turned out to be a complete scumbag, little gossipy, little lying bitch. But overall, I love the episode. Could have done with a little less throuple drama. 90 knots.
Very eloquent.
Thank you.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, good call.
Kaylin,
I liked it. I liked
and to keep it brief, right?
I liked the crew drama. I liked the guest drama. I was very entertained. I gave it 60 knots.
That's perfect. I feel
thank you, Kaylin.
There is a cosmic kind of sacred geometry happening tonight. We have the conclusion of the throuple. The worst part of this season. We have the throuple aboard this vessel, and we have the 3 of us. Kaylin is here as well.
Yeah, he's here he's clean up.
He's
man. He comes in and
Kaylin is sitting in what we call in the gay community the daddy chair.
Okay.
Which in the daddy chair, the daddy chair just kind of watches the action, usually with a cigar, and he's in a harness and just jerks off.
Okay. I was going to say
until he wants to get involved. So Kaylin's in the daddy chair, and we're all 3 in the menagerie.
I love that because I was going to say vestigial tail, which I think that the gay community can figure out what to do with. But
you just put that anywhere.
You can put it anywhere. So the season is, I'm worn down. Gary's.
I gotta agree with you.
My face is as red as Gary's right now. I've been in the sun too long. But I'm very, very sorry for the lovely sea rats that this was their last charter. But I'm very, very happy for us that we did not end with some pleasant group of people because nobody fucking wants that. So 90 pots, 4 pots for the season. Bravo, do better. So
good.
Let's get into this. It feels like it's been forever because it's been 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
We did not take Juneteenth off, but we did take Independence Day off or something. I don't know what the fuck happened. But last we were watching Below Deck. We had Gary being a bag of shit.
Asking about a period.
Yeah,
asking a woman.
Period.
And I just have to, there was one moment where Lucy, who to me has been one of the bright spots of the season because she's so authentic in what she says. And I think she hasn't she's gotten a decent edit, but I think if she would have had more to do, she would have gotten a better one.
Yeah.
But at one point, Lucy's just like, don't ask a girl that. It was just, we all said that.
This is the crazy thing about Coxman. It's crazy that they don't pick up or educate themselves about women.
No.
Despite interacting with women constantly. But, they just see them as holes. So,
well, all right. So I had a big issue with this because Gary didn't even. All right. So this is post going down on Mads, right? He's giving her a load of shit. How dare she? But it's post going down on her. You didn't notice that she might have been on her period. No harm, no foul.
No harm, no foul.
Here's where you're pissed if you're in a situation. Your friend goes, hey, eat this taco. And then you eat the taco. And then your friend says, hey, by the way, I came in that.
Yeah.
Right? Then you go, holy shit.
Right. But I would still say no harm, no foul.
Why didn't you tell me?
I would still say.
But I ate it anyway.
Yeah, I would no harm, no foul. It's just, it's extra protein and it doesn't change the flavor of the taco that much. This is just a classic game of telephone, though. Someone says they're on their period. Someone eats that person out. The whole thing goes tits up after that. We've seen it time after time.
Same old story 1,000 times.
What is Gary's apology to Mads? He says something like a Cro-Magnon-y,
I can't even really talk to you right now. I can't look at you.
Yeah.
It's really bad because I think you said this earlier, and this has been a perfect storm for Gary to reveal all of his character flaws that are not good time Gary this season.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling on the reunion next week, he's going to be pretty contrite, but I don't think he will apologize.
No.
Because Gary can't apologize because he's a child, because children don't know what they're sorry for.
And we're really going to see the depths of his mental illness. And, just that the shadows are running amok and he has no idea what's going on when he can't even say sorry to Colin. That's going to be the fucking sad thing.
Here's the odd thing. It's clearly Bravo or production.
I mean, he should say sorry to everybody, but just in Gary's world, he should. Yeah.
All right, so we watched 3 seasons of Gary. He's a complete sex addict. And, you give him a pass because he's good at his job and he's kind of fun and charismatic. And that goes a long way, even though you're being kind of a lying, manipulating womanizer, right? And we see on these boats, that happens quite a bit. But this season, Gary, when he feels a little bit where basically he's chasing a girl, it really opened up his character flaws, kind of what you touched on, where
exactly
this was the first season where you're seeing him be petty, play mind games, lie, be manipulative, especially
where
with
he's not in charge.
Yes. And it's like, wow, okay, all it takes is for you to be a little shaken up where then the real you comes out. I believe I think this might be a spoiler, but I believe he's filming season whatever.
He is, both he and Daisy.
Yeah. And I thought this was going to probably do him in, but apparently it didn't.
And bone to pick with our C-Rat insider sources.
Yes.
Don't tell us that people get fired anymore. You can't trust a C-Rat.
No.
You just can't trust. And we had multiple C-Rats tell us this is what's going on next season. You cannot trust a C-Rat.
Never.
No, never.
What were you saying, Jake?
I just want to say what you were talking about Gary. I think that Gary is contracted by Parsifal by the people who own the boat.
Yeah.
So I think it would have to be a big firing for him not to be on Parsifal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think even Glenn is contracted by those people. So I think
love that
Gary
take.
goes with Parsifal.
And I think that Gary, he would eventually flame out like a dog chasing a car, but I think there might be a lawsuit there,
I agree, and I think Gary would have to quit. I think there is a certain type of person who watches his show, both men and women, who, regardless of how Gary acts, will like him.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people who are on the internet and a lot of our people who listen to us go, how can anyone like him? Blah, blah. He's the misogynist, blah, blah. And I'm like, yes, and.
No,
yes,
I know.
And
people have certain charisma that you just don't understand. Like, Pat does a great impression of somebody who people say he has a lot of charisma all the time, but I just don't see it. He's that guy that was like, he's a loser. He got shut down.
No politics. No politics.
But anyways, no politics. We love whoever you vote for. So I love that this is the straw that breaks the back of the beautifully haired camel named Alex, because Alex is now done. And I love that this entire thing got rolling down the hill because Colin slid into the role that we need him to exist in, the gossipy bitch. This is what Colin can do. This is why we need him here in this, slot
I
in the
totally
batter
agree.
lineup.
I think Colin should be contractually obligated to have a girlfriend every season.
Yes.
Because single Colin doesn't get to focus on everyone else's eccentricities and conflicts and problems.
Yes.
And he doesn't get to have conversations with Gary and Daisy and the chef and get inside their head and do what he does best, which is like make problems that are already there worse.
Right. Yeah.
In many senses, he's the Kyle Richards of Below Deck.
That's exactly what he is.
Yeah.
He's a puppet. Well, he's a puppet.
And also, I love the people on Whispering Alien just shitting on Kyle Richards, because how dare she pretend like everything was fine while the cameras were rolling,
Mauricio.
and then get a divorce when filming stopped.
Well, the cameras are back there. I heard today they announced they're doing some Vanderpump shit.
She's just a witch.
She's sold her soul a long time ago, And I don't know if there's a lot there anymore. But
there's a few of them. Tamara Judge sold her soul, and now she couldn't be happier being back. I mean, her life is in shambles. The gym is, sold or out of business, or family doesn't talk to her. It's amazing what it is really selling your soul to be on Bravo.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you will. And in a weird way, what Andy Cohen and others of his ilk have created is this fake life that is their real life, and then they forget that their real life isn't the show, and it is a weird type of meta life that only Black Mirror could have dreamed up.
Right.
And here we are.
Who would have thought, even last year, or perhaps when New York began, that a decade later we would see Luann successfully noodling a catfish?
Holy shit.
I mean,
I love doing that.
Did you guys watch that?
Yeah, it was amazing.
It was incredible.
It was so good. And I have to say, it might have been like that scene that almost killed Anthony Bourdain the first time, where they were dropping the frozen octopus in to make it seem that could have been a plant. But if it wasn't, I am so proud of Luann Elsap for fucking catching that thing. I would
you liked
never
me catching
do that.
a catfish? Watch me sing a little Frank. I've got you.
Don't croon.
Under my thumb.
No crooning. No crooning.
Poo.
All right.
I just wonder how many fucking PAs she fucked on that season. Because she will fuck anyone younger than 30.
Oh, and fucking her and Sonia Morgan, forget about it. All right, so let's meet the gays.
Let's meet the gays.
We have some very intense necklaces, and overall,
there's a lot of jewelry.
The one primary looks like he could be like an alien sympathizer in Avatar, like he wants to be the Na'vi or something
very
like that.
Na'vi-esque.
But I gotta say, he does not pull them off, because how could anybody? But if anyone was going to do as well as they could, it's this guy. I mean, he looks like a god of war.
Now, we're speaking of Grant. Now, he was the one wearing that necklace made of lizard cocks, or whatever the hell that was, or dead fingers, or something weird.
They are WeHo gays who also do yoga.
Yeah.
And they are adjacent. They love, I guarantee you, they go to Burning Man every single year.
Yes. Love that.
And they have huge orgies.
Yeah.
And what was interesting, what Ray and the Throuple,
yes,
was trying to communicate when they're like, because when the mom at dinner was like, yeah, we saw a lot of people wearing things that were just not covering their bodies. I mean, in my day, that wouldn't even have been imagined.
Right.
And Ray's like, I know, there's a lot of like fat people here.
Yeah.
And the yoga gays were like, we like all bodies are bodies. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then Ray, who'd had too much to drink, goes, yeah, but you wouldn't have fucked them.
Right.
Now,
sadly, Ray is right.
Yeah, but you're right. The Grant ethos is very much like light dose of ketamine at Burning Man tolerant.
Totally.
Yeah.
We love everyone.
Can you give some gay historical insight into who the fuck are these people as friends? Because it seems like they're just people that decided they know each other.
I'll tell you.
And also, sorry, Jake, two-part question. I also want, if you could just educate us on the normalcy or not of polyamory in this community, because I feel like it might be more commonplace and more successful in the gay community, but I don't know.
Successful is an interesting term, but we can talk about it.
All right.
I want to address your first thing, like who are these people and why are they together? So let me just talk about I knew that Grant and his boyfriend were the co-primaries. Thank you, Todd.
Yeah.
They were the co-primaries. They had another friend who was with them.
David.
Thank you. Boy, sound like your Pat's over there like Rain Manning.
Yeah,
David Wapner.
So David is like the satellite gay, or perhaps the linchpin of the group.
Yes.
He's the daddy. He sits in a chair and beats off.
Right. He's in the daddy chair. And then there's Deb, the mom, who is Brad's mother. So my theory about this is they have some type of, I think Grant and Todd have some type of consulting firm, and I have an idea that Brad's got money, either from family or I think Brad has to be a finance guy. I can see the look in his eye.
Absolutely.
And I think Brad has got a lot of money. I think that's a big client of theirs. And I think this was to woo Brad, which is why they don't really want to fucking deal with Brad and his goddamn mother, who doesn't know what she's doing, who ran off on the unicorn float.
I think that's such a good read. Because Brad does strike me as somebody who has like, you know, people have like Athletic Greens, great product. We'll do an ad read for them in a bit, but like he does expensive like chlorophyll kind of stuff in the morning.
Totally.
He had the eye bag thing going on in one of the scenes. He's a very powerful man. He scares the fuck out of me.
And in that tiny little body, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And you know, because in that small package, he takes up less energy than others. So he would survive longer, like the children in Colombia.
Who
were found in the woods.
Yeah, he's nuclear powered.
It's interesting you guys bring that up because I was trying to make sense of that master suite in which the throuple slept in, and I was thinking as I looked at that bed, there's no way that three men could fit on that bed unless one of them is part of the Lollipop Guild, and that would be Brad.
Yes,
that would be Brad.
And that would be true. He sleeps in a little hammock above him.
Yeah.
just
or maybe they put like a bird perch in a corner and he just
he just like perches there and they feed him bird seed.
Yeah.
He's fine with it.
Okay, so we have to get to the show, but I guess I did ask you about to educate us if that's not
I
too big of a...
I want to tell you about just thruples in general.
Yeah.
Now, especially men who sleep with men in the kind of gay community, it is because there's less of a history, I would say, of monogamy and less of a history of marriage that just in general, because gay marriage hasn't been legal for very long.
Yeah.
And also a culture of sex, that gay sex was how culturally and historically how you asserted your own identity. And how you were kind of growing up as a gay man and knowing who you were was to have gay sex because it was that was showing you who you were. It was part of culturally your identity.
Huh.
And so when gay men wanted to start to get married, sometimes it was hard to leave this kind of sexuality with one other person,
right?
Because you weren't shackled by
the conventions
monogamy. Exactly.
Yeah.
So because that wasn't for you. So and a lot of times I'll be honest, I think I have a lot of gay men friends or queer men friends who were in relationships, and I would say probably 50-50 are open. Throupling is different, however. Throupling usually means that you are a couple and you sleep with this one other guy, and that's all you sleep with. Now, that's not always the case.
Yeah.
But it seems in this case, they're using the term throuple as more notoriety than anything else. But throupling happens. It's a very San Francisco thing where you're saying, oh, we're in a triad or we're in a square.
Right.
And you're like, how do you keep track of all that? God, you have to pay so many compliments and talk to people and talk about your day to two other people. Fuck that.
Right. So in the gay community, much like in the straight, I was going to say community, but that's not the wrong word.
Y'all don't have nothing in community. We don't either, though.
It is equally fatal.
Well, here's what I will say. If you can make it work in an open relationship, I know some thruples that exist and they can make it work. It's harder.
Yeah.
You have to have... I doubt this one's going to make it that long because Randy
I don't think it made it off
Ray's
the boat.
temper.
Yeah, I don't think it made it off the boat.
No, and he's a goddamn drunk too.
Exactly. I still we can't even get along in Sardinia. What the fuck are we doing here? Exactly.
What's the new song? The new Kylie Minogue song is taking the world by storm.
Padam.
Padam. Yeah. exactly.
That was you noticed. There's a gay person because I was like, "Padam, padam."
I watched.
There was no hesitation at all.
I watched Trixie and Katya, but the details don't hit me, and I don't dance to the song in clubs. So, anyways,
just one other thing about thruples and open relationships. What in my experience, I've never really been in one. But what I would say is if you are in one, there's a lot of rules that are laid down. Like you can't sleep with someone who, if you have an open relationship, you're not sleeping with someone in town or someone that we know. If you're on the road, that's a different thing. I don't want to know about it. Or if you sleep with someone, we do it together. That's a very common thing. And then you don't outside the marriage. What I will tell you about open relationships is it takes a lot of communication to make them work. I have been sharing a little bit. I have been the third in an open relationship.
Yeah.
And it ended with the person, me seeing one of the triad and the other part of the triad knocking on my door saying, "I know you're in there."
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
It never, I got to say, I listened to a podcast called Dr. Wendy Walsh. And
He loves Wendy Walsh.
I love Dr. Wendy Walsh. She gave a stat of polyamory relationships. They generally last less than a year.
Yeah. And
it's
also,
a straight couples.
Tip to straight couples out there: don't pitch that idea. Because that's crowbarring open Pandora's box. It's not really great. All right.
So that's my throuple discussion.
Thank you. Because, I mean, God, that sounds like a lot of work. It sounds like fucking...
Jake pointed out, you come home from work.
It's a lot of communication
and you gotta
for some
ask
fucking...
two dudes how their day was.
Oh, God.
I could barely get through half of me caring about one
like
person.
Settlers of
Thank
Catan
you.
expansion.
Thank you. That's the hardest part of it.
All right. So the shots get ripped immediately. The sliders hit the table. There are not enough sliders in the world that could prevent these people from not getting blackout at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Well, only half the people.
Well,
yeah.
The Burning Man crew.
Exactly. Can I say the Burning Man crew know how to drink? They probably had a little ayahuasca earlier in the day.
Yeah.
So, but I need, if you could give me a little Kylie Minogue background, I need to replicate this guy's drink order. I'll have a double martini on the rocks with olive juice and an extra shot, and you can keep going.
That is, I don't. That is not so much. That is not so much gay as it is classless.
Trash.
Disgusting trash. I mean, that is shirking every convention of drinking that is beautiful. It's revolting.
That's like 4 ounces of vodka and you squeeze an olive in it.
Where there's not enough room for the olive juice.
No.
Unless you
it was
put
disgusting.
Like an Italian cafe amount of ice in there, which is nobody wants that.
By the way, I do want to say... go ahead, Jake.
I've never heard of a martini on the rocks.
On the rocks, yeah. No. It's almost like it's not a martini.
I do want to also... Sorry, these are little things that I pick up when I watch. When Lucy was pouring those tequila shots, too, that tequila was not iced and there was no lime in there.
Okay. And then also, just to give you a little background on the podcast. So we call her Lucky. She did DM us and say that's not my name. We told her we're aware, but we call her Lucky because she is cosmically unlucky, and we've deduced that she's being chased in a Final Destination kind of way by death. So what are you doing?
Next time Jake calls out Kylie Minogue, I'll
we love her so much. We're talking to her. We're talking to her on Friday, but you can never trust a sea rat.
Never trust a sea rat.
Also, Lucky, I think there's one shot glass that's bigger than the others, which is just the most sea rat shit ever. It's like going to a house party at a condo and they didn't think that many people were going to come, so they have to pull out the extra one.
And you're giving them like your kids' glasses.
Yeah.
Jake,
your sippy cups.
Jake, I want to jump on something that you said about the rude behavior. On top of that, they also engaged in something that I completely despise when I've been out with other people. This has happened a lot. Talking in front of service people like they don't exist.
Ugh.
Yeah,
when he tells Daisy that she took forever.
That took forever. That is... Have either of you guys ever been servers?
No.
I worked at a pizza joint, basically having to serve people. Yeah.
I was gonna work at a country club, but I couldn't pass the drug test.
I worked at a country club. I worked at a country club it was basically a snack bar, but it was the golf course grill.
Yeah.
But I worked a lot in serving, and it happens, and you just start to disassociate after a while.
Yeah.
But there are moments where you just kind of wake up and you go, holy shit, I'm a person when you're a server.
Yeah.
And because that kind of stuff does happen. And after a while, you just keep going on. I think some people like Mads and Lucy are pretty new to this, it seems like. But like a Kate Chastain wouldn't have bat an eye. Because she's heard and seen it 1,000 times.
And this is the danger of the elites, and it's a real blind spot.
Yeah.
To give a C-Rat an opportunity for them to think they're better than you is a real mistake, And if you're rude to them, then they can, put themselves above you. And there's no reason for that. I'm just kidding. We're all humans.
That was rough. I want to add one more comment that Nick said to Randy later on when they were bitch fighting.
Oh, hold on. Wait, let me cue up your music.
And they were... Here we go. Oh, I love it. He said, you know what? You couldn't even apologize. Oh, you want me to apologize? Well, I'm sorry you got so fucked up. It was so good. I only want to watch these two be awful to each other. And but the thing about it is, it's like Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, but on a really low level.
Yeah.
With really bad insults.
Right.
That room, what was happening behind that closed door was bananas.
I have to admit something right here. I said, yeah. Totally.
You didn't understand the Virginia Woolf?
No, I've never seen Who's Afraid of Virginia. The only thing about Virginia, I've read Orlando.
They just fight. It's a movie where they just fight and insult each other.
Okay,
or
great.
a play, actually.
All right, great.
So Randy passes out real quick.
God, I'm so sorry to be so deceitful.
No. I throw out references like that, and my co-host Matt will go, "Never seen it," like in that way, and I go,
Yeah.
I miss Matt. Last time we did a podcast, he pulled out a "It's a Living" reference from 1987 on the brand new Fox network.
Welcome to my life.
I fell in love with Matt.
All right, so we hit the water toys quite quickly, and before you know it, we almost have a dead old woman on our hands. I mean, in 2 seconds. Alex cuts her loose at her request, but there is a rescue mission, Hatch, but even in the rescue mission, she almost dies like 3 times. I mean, the elderly cannot be in perilous positions like this.
Her sunglasses are also super askew.
Yeah.
When she's being taken in, when she's being kind of like Sherpa'd into it, and they zoom in, and all I can think of is it looks like something from what's the movie where they carry around a corpse?
Weekend at Bernie's.
Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah.
It looks like that.
Well, much like Weekend at Bernie's, I think he died from a knock to the head. She hit her head on the goddamn floating dock like 15 times throughout this entire... It's just very dangerous.
I will say, I was constantly worried about this woman's sure-footedness.
Yeah.
And she was stepping all over. She was falling.
Right.
I could not enjoy ever her being around because I was concerned for her safety.
Well, Brad wanted her dead because it would clear up all his financial problems with that fucking scumbag Randy who keeps vomiting in the sink. He'd be able to hire a high level attorney. He could divorce Randy, and he could solve all his problems. If she's 72, she's lived long enough.
All right, so we get a little bit of a meanwhile. The guys have a chat about how Gary is a piece of shit. The one drunk Randy, aka Ray, or whatever his fucking name is, does that thing which is weird where you ruin an expensive vacation by blacking out long before the sun goes down. That's a thing where something in his life, the poles are not where they are or where they're supposed to be, and he's just very, very uncomfortable to be in his own skin, and he just Well, also, I don't know why I'm trying to diagnose it that complicated. He's just a fucking drunk, and he ruins his vacation.
He's a drunk, and what happens for a lot of people is they get on camera, and it may be the first time, and they drink more, and they realize, oh, I need to drink more because I'm still feeling insecure.
Yeah.
And what happens is they hit their limit, or they order a double martini on the rocks with olive juice with an extra shot.
Now, which is, again, not a thing.
Here's the thing.
That's not a drink. That is not a drink that exists.
Those cameras in their room, their quarters, where it's Nick, Brad, and Randy claims that I think it's Nick didn't try and fucking help him at all and left him sleeping on the floor, where you actually heard multiple times Nick saying, "Let me get you on the bed."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is not their first rodeo of Randy being a fucking prick.
I'm also, this is going to get dark. I'm going to promise you that there has been not just verbal abuse, but physical abuse in this relationship.
Oh, hell yeah.
You promise you. It's really awful. Yep.
Wow.
I haven't talked to him in a while. I had two gay friends. One was definitely the more effeminate. He liked to dress up as Tina Turner and actually he got to get on the Oprah Winfrey show. As,
who doesn't love to do that?
But his boyfriend, Jeff, who
that's
I was more
Saturday.
Jeff used to brag to me that he used to love to beat the shit out of Peter.
It is a thing that happens in a lot of lesbian relationships.
Oh, really?
But it happens in a lot of male-male relationships as well. A lot of physical abuse, and it's really underreported.
That would be fun if I could spar with my wife. I've been going to Muay Thai a lot. She won't even let me pretend to throw a kick.
Beat the shit out of you.
I guarantee you, your wife would fight dirty.
I think she would too. She'd gouge my fucking eyes out. All right, so if the booze didn't make Randall sick enough, let's go sailing. We tilt to 35 degrees. Puree goes everywhere. We're scalding. Knives are flying, and it wouldn't be a season finale with that.
Randy barfs.
I'm still convinced that a lot of this B-roll is just recycled over and over and over again of them healing. I don't believe it all happens. I don't know if you guys heard this too. One of our Daisy was interviewed sometime on maybe it was Watch What Happens Live or something, and Daisy's like, "Yeah, I have to give this to you. Production makes us take the locks off of all the stuff because
she admitted
they enjoy
that.
Seeing it."
Wow.
Yeah, she admitted it.
Well, that would be the only fucking explanation for this, because to put it's just like put a fucking child lock on the shit.
All right. I've said this before, Jake. I need a steak knife to go through someone's head.
Okay.
Because if you're going to do this, then let's just amp it up. Lucky, they had a shot of her ironing, which she had like the steam iron thing going.
Think about what
I need that thing to touch her fucking skull, and it will make that Nexium fucking branding shit.
Yeah.
Like imagine Lucky getting off the show and having to explain why she's got a branding of an iron on her fucking face.
We've thought that it's Final Destination Grim Reaper, but maybe Allison Mack is transmuting into inanimate objects from some prison
No,
cell.
she's out of jail, man.
Is she?
Fucking like Nexium shit. all there, and
yeah. I can never watch Smallville the same way. It's just so
and you're
fucked
thinking,
up.
Was she thinking about the brand she just received?
Yeah.
When she's filming that scene?
Tom Welling was like, "Hey, Allison, what's that?" All right. So,
chicken? What's that on your leg? Oh, that's just a brand for ownership. Never mind.
That just means I'm Keith's. All right. So, yes, death once again comes from Lucky. The iron anthropomorphizes and attacks her. Randy is waking up from his binge drinking. That is everyone else's fault, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tasmanian devil kind of shit happens. They said that someone threw a glass of water on the ceiling. Jake's right. They hit each other.
I swear to God, you could. There's a dynamic here of Randy needing to feel like the man, the big man,
right.
And he wasn't getting validated. And then you had the two queens over here. It was like everything's fine, and Randy was like, I need to make myself better than other people. And Mom was trying to validate because it's all some type of weird. like insidious thing, because Mom probably likes Randy in some way, and then like Brad was crying to Mom, we don't even have a prenup.
Well,
Oh, God,
Jake, you
that
picked
was so sad.
I agree with that. So Mom was trying to placate that relationship when clearly they were being pricks. And so you can see that she's been a codependent relationship with her son for a number of years.
Mom's an asshole too.
That's yeah, I'm agreeing.
Yeah. All right. So we fight a little bit more. I think Glenn interjects later.
Later. So
Okay.
we're going to get to dinner. Dylan is
aggro,
you're the resident gay historian. Dylan is the resident food culinary expert.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
I don't know what I am.
What have you thought about Alicia?
I think
season?
she's been a fantastic,
Me too.
fantastic 84 the entire season. I love Alicia. I want her. I think she could be a staple on the show. I think she's got a lovely disposition. I want her. I ship her and Chase.
She's got to lose a boyfriend.
Oh my God, do I ship her?
I
and
think
Chase.
she needs to lose that boyfriend.
She does. Fuck
Otherwise,
that guy.
I don't think we'll ever see her again.
Yeah.
I don't know if, and this is, I think it's, I'm sure it's part of misogyny. Female chefs don't seem to do as well on these franchises unless they're crazy like Rachel.
Yeah. Well, we joke that Rachel is seeing Shutter Island kind of waking nightmares while she's cooking things.
There, you can hear Adagio for strings like playing platoon style.
Yeah.
Like when Rachel is cooking.
Yep, 100%, which is why she's so fantastic. But Alicia she's almost in a sweet spot. What we need, when I've been begging for Dushka all season,
Dushka.
Dushka was amazing. She dry fries pork chops with no oil whatsoever. That's the kind of person that we really need on the show. But Alicia is great because she's a solid chef, but she every once in a while she'll make a mistake, like serve a lemon sorbet as a palate cleanser in the 11th course out of 12. Or like tonight, she'll serve a 30-ounce fucking ribeye to every single person.
That's a really big piece of meat.
It's just too much meat.
Is that just an Australian thing?
I don't know.
Or a New Zealand thing?
But that is just not done.
That was a huge steak.
I don't know if the crew were like, we would like to eat that. And she was like, I've got an idea. Let's just have everybody have a steak. But that was
a Fred
insane.
Flintstone cut.
Yes, 100%. That was a $280 steak at a restaurant. And the first course is, but the first course is, what you'd love to see. It's an avocado mousse with whipped feta, caviar, and a Sardinian flatbread. Somebody says, I love caviar, but I can't spell it. Now that's one of those tension cutting jokes that doesn't really work because it's fucking insane. Because who can't spell caviar? You can, the person that said it.
You'd be surprised. But that is one of those things that someone says and other people go,
Yeah.
And no one really thinks it's funny. And then other people are embarrassed for that person.
Yeah.
Sadly.
That's why those are the kind of things that make me not want to meet new people.
It's a problem with these shows in general because you can tell these people don't really know each other.
Yeah.
They're not really friends. The best charters are the people who are friends,
right? Because
the conversation is natural. I shouldn't say the best charters, the easiest charters, the worst charters, and in a weird way, our best charters are when people who barely know each other, like these,
like Simple Chuck and Erica Rose, and that whole debacle.
100%.
They are wonderful.
They are wonderful. My favorite part about Chuck is that he says he doesn't do Adderall. He
may not take it. He snorts it.
He's like, no, I don't want time release. You can't crush those. They're like, what did you say? Nothing. Just fill the prescription. So the reason why people who don't know each other work so well is because we have conversations like this. Now, you were going to illuminate the logic of this. But basically, what you want to lay it out?
Okay, so it starts out with, before they'd gotten on the boat, there was some good old-fashioned people watching, and we all like to judge, and I guess there was, as Jake had pointed out earlier, there were some people wearing tiny clothes that in their big fat bodies. And we have Team Mom Enabler and her son and I guess her 2 son-in-laws. And then we have Team Burning Man. Burning Man is more live and let live, let's not judge.
Live and let live.
And then we have, and by the way, it was his Johnny Cochran moment when Randy laid down, would you fuck him or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he threw the gavel down and just said,
Jake, I'm really confused about his threshold for successful existing is whether or not he wants to fuck someone. Like, I don't understand why this got to where it got.
Well, for Randy, that it is how fuckable he is to other people. And the fact that what he was calling out is a double standard in gay male behavior, where we say, like, in other words, a lot of times you hear this phrase in gay hookup culture is no fats, no femmes, no Asians.
Okay.
Is a very common thing you used to see on hookup apps.
Oh, poor Asians.
In other words, you can be as open-minded as possible, but you are very specific about who you want to fuck.
Right.
And what Randy was trying to call out is the hypocrisy that they were calling him out about fat shaming. It's like, you can do anything you want. And what Randy, sadly, I don't want to agree with Randy here, but what he was telling that the Burning Man queens is, you know what? You're defending them, but you wouldn't fuck them.
Yeah.
So he's essentially a hypocrite.
Yeah, and they got called out on national television.
What? So what was it? No fats, no femmes, no Asians.
No Asians is something you used to see.
Is it kind of like Harvard's admission policy?
I think since K-pop kind of hit the scene in 10 years, I bet that's kind of washed away. I bet
it's going away, but that used to be a thing. Asian gay men especially were discriminated against, and it's still a thing now. I think every Asian gay man would tell you, I would have a story.
Well, you know what? I bet they'll put their head down and they'll work harder.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it, I will say that came from a place of Randy's got a big chip on his shoulder. So that's where that came from. I guarantee you he's been rejected by gays who look like Todd and whatever the other fuck is name, some other gay name.
Right.
Grant. That's another gay name.
Jake, is Randy cute on any level?
I think so.
I wouldn't fuck him.
He pukes too much.
Let me just say, I sometimes rank guys by what hour of Grindr hookup they are. Like if Randy contacted me at 10:30, absolutely not. If Randy contacted me at 12 midnight, no.
Yeah.
1 a.m., no. I think on a bad night, no.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it was at 2 a.m.
Yeah. Well, and also, if you said yes, you would possibly intertwine with somebody who was going to throw up in your house, take a shit, and then not flush the toilet.
This is true, and it would be a terrible story to tell at dinner, which I would.
It'd make
is
you
what
sad.
Gay men do.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't want to be judgy here, but Dylan smokes e-cigarettes occasionally, or not anymore.
No. I gave the stuff up.
Okay. Randy does something truly disgusting at this dinner table, from old Patty's perspective, which is has a lit cigarette out at the dinner table while there's still food at the table.
Yeah.
Food's gone, drinking wine, even dessert there, light up.
Right.
A fucking full 8-pound ribeye steak that Fred Flintstone couldn't eat.
Right. If there's a rack of ribs in front of you, which is essentially what this is, that's fine. If there's chartreuse and some kind of trifle, then pull out a cig, it's fine. But that guy, he has no fucking. Is Emily Post gay?
I know Emily Post.
Okay,
that's for like finicky gays.
Okay,
but yeah, I'm here.
Well, he has he's never read an Emily Post book because he orders martinis wrong. He smokes at the dinner table at the wrong times. He's a fucking asshole. This guy.
Yeah, I don't like.
And also, we'd love to have you on the show.
Oh, Randy, if you're listening, we'd love to have you on.
Our next partner has a product that I use literally every day. It's part of my morning routine. It actually kind of kickstarts things, and I love it. You know what it is?
Yes.
It's AG1.
AG1.
It's kind of understated how beautiful this stuff is. For me, I started taking it to regulate to feel more healthful. I fear nothing on AG1, actually. But what it does to children is actually pretty shocking.
Yeah. Ellie, my daughter, she's 3.5. You know, she speaks 5 languages. She's done a trip to Mars. She's now into the sub-building business.
And that's how casual she is. With Pat, he's seen it so much now that he refers to her solo, no mechanics necessary flights to Mars as she did a trip to Mars, as though Leo did a trip to Cannes. You know, it's nuts stuff. AG1 promotes gut health. It supports immunity. It gives you your daily dose of vitamin C, zinc, healing mushrooms, and more. It boosts energy. Magnesium regulates all day energy. You're not going to crash out. You're not going to fall off. It helps recovery as well. If you're at home or you're on the go, AG1 is perfect for your daily health routine. It's got 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients. Comprehensive nutrition in one simple scoop.
A packet, dude.
Just put it in a cup of water. Suck it down. You know, it tastes okay. It tastes okay, and that's how you know it's good for you. That's how you know it's good for you.
And by the way, as you mentioned, like 75 minerals and vitamins in there.
Yeah.
My dad, I used to walk in his house. He had like 85 bottles.
You don't want to do that.
Now you look like a weirdo.
And all those bottles were filled with liquor, and that's extremely unhealthy. So AG1 is so much more than the greens. One daily serving delivers a comprehensive blend of core health products working together to fill nutrient gaps and deliver the foundation for better health. Health starts in the gut. You know that. AG1's good for it, for just about everybody too. Optimized for athletes, lifeleets, and everyone in between. If you're vegan, paleo, or keto, this is for you. Go to drinkag1.com and use promo code BELOWDECK. Go to drinkag1.com and enter it in. Promo code below deck. Don't give it to children if you do not want holes in your roof. They explode into the sky like Super Saiyans.
By the way, just so you know, Jake, I have had my phone. We reached out to Grant, the guy who wore dead lizard cocks on his neck, the nice guy from Burning Man. Yeah. We invited him to be on the podcast with our throuple tonight. He has not responded yet, but we still have time doing the podcast. We will dial him in immediately if he responds.
We'll phone a friend.
Perfect. And I want to know how. I have a feeling that Paul, that little Pocket Gay is a client.
Okay,
yeah.
I like that.
That's such a good take.
I think Pocket Gay is a client, and Pocket Gay said, "Well, if you want me, you got to take my mother, my husband, and our boyfriend. We could be great TV."
So we get a C-Rat story from Lucky. She obviously got punched in the face as a bottle service girl.
Yeah, she was a bottle service girl.
So that, of course, happened.
I love her stories.
She's amazing.
They're done with absolutely no pretense.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens in Wales.
Yeah,
at 11:30 at night.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, because she has a good relationship with her mother and family, like we always have this theory that this entire industry attracts broken people, and they make great C-Rats because, you know, dad was an alcoholic or mom was an alcoholic or someone died in a gunfight over drugs.
Yeah.
And that's how they end up here. Lucky ended up here, and her dad loves her, which is why she's not sleeping with Gary, Chase, or anybody else.
Yeah,
or she's not dancing on a pole somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
When you've seen as many people get into fights in the middle of a street and they're both wielding broken Buckfast bottles trying to stab each other, you can't really be pretentious about anything. It just kind of brings you down. You know what I mean?
Some guy worked on these boats. His mother beat him with a bone or something.
No. She was actually beat with a bone while he washed.
Oh, Jesus.
So actually get that right. All right. So we got to get to the next day.
Next day.
Next day.
We get the prenup discussion, but we've covered that. So Chase, his only blemish the entire season is the booby thing. And it was a big blemish, but Chase has more than recovered from that moment.
I agree, and I can't, and I find myself rarely going back and saying, you know what, maybe I was too hard on him.
Yeah.
It's also, he's too close to home because he's from Charleston, South Carolina. I'm from South Carolina. I know a lot of Chases.
Yeah.
And it's that I guarantee you he's not from nothing.
Yeah.
He's from a decent family.
Yep.
He went to Cotillion. He learned manners.
Yep.
I think it's that, and to me, every talking head he does feels like Jersey Shore season 2, like the camp with a lot of energy, and
right.
and it gets on my fucking nerves.
Yeah.
But I will say he has redeemed himself. I think in person he would be a pretty normal, charming hang.
We've had him on.
He
falls under the archetype of the Southern bumpkin dude that the happy-go-lucky.
I don't know about that. I mean, he's a smart guy.
Okay. Well, there's been Culver. Do you remember Culver? He was almost like a version of Culver, but he's actually smarter than the average bear kind of guy. I actually see him being on another season, possibly.
Well, Culver is a different situation. He's from... You know how there are billionaires?
He's for money.
Yeah, there are billionaires in the Midwest that did it through copper wiring, you know, and you're like, what the fuck?
Your dad made $1 billion and he owns a cardboard box company?
Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's Culver.
Culver has that like fucked up look of like Mayflower about him.
Yes.
Where like the jaw's too strong.
Right,
it's like three generations ago it was a Habsburg jaw.
Yes.
Yeah.
He looks like he could have died for Lincoln. So
can I do a meanwhile?
Yes.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
Lucky finds her second unflushed toilet.
Yeah.
And this caused Lucky to unravel and rethink her life entirely. And I think she's seeing that floating turd as a symbol of her life. It's a circling, turd going down the drain.
Yeah.
And it's through a tunnel of darkness. I think this is Lucky's last stint on one of these vessels.
I think so, and I think it's a shame because she's amazing.
I agree, and she's a joy, and it is a shame. I don't think she's fit out for any other reality show because she's completely without guile.
Right.
And Below Deck is where she belongs. I don't think in a million years she would ever do another charter season.
Yeah.
I think she's going to be a sports agent. Well, maybe we'll find out when we interview her on Friday.
Yeah.
I'm imagining her like in the Jerry Maguire style, trying to talk to someone.
Like following him out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Renee's following him out when everybody else leaves him behind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just trying to imagine her doing the Jerry Maguire. Show me the money.
Oh yeah.
You know.
No, she's not capable of it. I think she's gonna find somebody, fall in love.
Exactly. Just do that.
And just
Lucy,
be fucking
it's much
happy.
easier.
And
you're gorgeous. You're fine.
What she needs to do is go to whatever power node she needs to go to on planet Earth and sacrifice whatever she needs to sacrifice
to save her life and her family's legacy.
Her fucking life. Because
the final destination. Yeah, agreed.
100%.
One thing that's worth mentioning, because we haven't talked about Gary a lot in the Mad situation throughout this episode, but it's sprinkled in. Gary is a lingerer. Wherever Mads is, he finds her throughout the episode and then just says dumb shit. And she is not having any of it.
Right.
And Mads is his kryptonite. And I will say this is one of the reasons we mentioned this earlier, and I have to keep coming back to it. This is why he has revealed himself to becoming a true, kind of orc-like creature, like you mentioned earlier. Yeah. Where it's like just the basest human feelings of acting like a child, because he has felt like no control, and when he has no control, this is what happens.
Yeah, unravels.
Well, really,
Jake, think of last season. He had Ashley Jugs.
Yeah.
I think that's her last name.
Eating ass.
It might as well spaghetti, we called her.
She's making $315 a month on OnlyFans right now.
She slipped his penis into her vagina. She had Gabriela Barragán. Trying to sleep with him, and then he had the Daisy thing. So he is not accustomed to chasing.
He's not.
And then before
he's not accustomed to change. He's used to having ladies.
The season before that, he had the
Florida Sea Rat
with
the handprints on the guest bedroom.
Yeah. And then the girl from Australia. So wrapping up this episode, the Na'vi is very into working out. We head to the beach and he makes Mads plank for way too long. It's like crazy. It's just crazy.
We work out with weight. We use people as tools.
Yeah. Like what? What kind of
weird thing to say.
King Leopold thing is that to use people as fucking weights?
I want you to behave for me.
So Gary and Colin, we wrap with a mini little flip out from Gary leads to a mini little flip out from Colin. And this is why Colin can't be in a relationship with Daisy. Colin is a drama queen.
Yep,
Colin
always.
is so emotional, and we need him to be emotional. He needs to squirt kerosene on the floor, have somebody trip on it, and then have him light it with his cigarette and then walk away.
And then claim no fault of what happened.
Exactly.
All right.
No. You're exactly right. And he needs to, when he gets involved with something, he is also someone who gets overwhelmed very easily, which is why he's got a sailboat and he can run at any time.
Right.
That's why we have, I know he's the internet darling of everyone's like, oh, I want Colin as my boyfriend. You ladies out there who want Colin as your boyfriend, he is going to leave. Mm-hmm. He is going to, I promise you, I like Colin too, because he's great TV.
Yeah.
But Colin is a boyfriend who's going to hold you at a distance. He's got a great tongue. He will tell you everything. Great tongue, cunnilingus wise, and what he's going to say to you.
Oh, yeah. He's such a giver.
Jake, we always say this. The sea rats are always running from something. They're
Totally.
always right. That's why they're on these boats. That final conversation before this episode
just
ends.
really commit to therapy and just be open when they go in. Don't just
Agree.
Just be open and face it. Put roots down somewhere. Don't die alone at 49.
You can't do that as a
They won't
rat.
die alone. They'll find a younger girl that will live with or be. They never die alone. All right. Final scene basically is Colin and Gary in their bunks, and that's I think you kind of touched on it.
Yeah.
Gary tells Colin he needs to watch out for Daisy, and really Colin notes, "No, I need to watch out for you. You're a scumbag."
Yep.
And then the episode ends.
We'll see that on the reunion, and we'll see you guys on the next episode. I don't know if we do plugs. Do we do plugs?
Do we do plugs?
Reality Gaze.
Is that some sort of like straight thing?
It's well, I'll do. Yeah, it's a very straight thing. Go to Reality Gaze. Go to our show.
Go to realitygaze.com. You can go find us on Instagram at Reality Gaze Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Reality Gaze Pod. You can find us on the TikTok at Reality Gaze.
Boom.
And let me tell you something. These guys make us laugh. Their
They
coverage
really
of
do.
90 Day, they own it. Super funny. We put our stamp of approval on them.
You
And
guys, you're always a good time. It's
And
always
if
a
you're
good hang
listening
here.
to
It's fun.
us on the Reality Gaze, join us on Bad TV, or we do shows exclusively about Below Deck and another Below Deck podcast. But if you want to listen to us break down Flavor of Love or Vanderpump, join us
Fuck.
on Bad TV.
Did you guys do this last season of Vanderpump?
We did.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
That's at patreon.com.
I just want to say, I haven't watched it since like season 2 or 3, but I just want to put it out there in the ether. I don't think we'll have anything like this in our lifetimes. For a reality show.
No.
You know, I think
I
it's
just don't think so.
But Flavor of
It
Love,
won't be as perfect.
Flavor of Love, a contestant shit on the floor.
That's true.
So,
That's true. No, that was Camelot. That was Camelot.
oh, of course. Yeah. Nothing like it.
That was Toddlers and Tiaras we're big fans of, and we also think that was Camelot. When Mackenzie turned to the camera, he goes, "Sometimes I just like to drink my soda and go off."
Well, and then there was the one where the woman called the PR girl and said, you've framed me in a bad light, and then she keeps retaking it over and over again and yells at her bitch mom to stop interrupting the voicemail. I'm
you're
rambling.
talking about when I was wearing Louis Vuitton?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Now, look, I don't want to believe that, Jake. I think Vanderpump, that Scandival was amazing this season, but there's still, I think
There's more to go.
There's more to go. We have another. Hopefully we do a collab with you guys with the next season of Love Is
And
Blind. That's always
bravo,
amazing.
pay Rachel whatever she needs because we need her.
Thank you.
Pay her
Thank
the
you.
most out of everybody. Fuck Ariana right now. We need Rachel on the show.
Yep, agree.
Not fuck Ariana. I know that she's the heroine, but also
No, you need Bambi there.
No, she's gonna be fine, Dylan.
yeah, let's calm down.
Ariana's gonna be fine.
She's doing so many ads. Like she's fine. Fuck. All right, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us, y'all.
I haven't had this much time recapping in a while. Thanks, Jake. I mean that.
No, but you said it wrong.
You said I haven't had that much time recapping.
No, I said I haven't had this much fun.
Well, you meant to say that.
Oh, sorry, Jake. We do 18 podcasts a week like you guys.
All right, here we are. You quite rudely called Kaylin the vestigial tale of the throuple that we had tonight.
He's more than that.
Yeah, no, he's the power
He's
daddy.
a person.
He's the power daddy that's spitting on his member and watching us fight sexually. This episode is that. And this episode is always that. It is a half an hour of goodbyes, and we say love you.
The final episode is always that.
Yep.
Well, I'll say this. When I used to watch Real World when I was in high school, the final episode of The Real World was literally an hour of goodbyes. And I hate to admit this, I used to tear up.
It's
Did
fine.
you cry? I was going to say.
Yeah, it's totally fine. I cry every time, every family episode of Survivor.
Is that right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
That's the straightest thing I've ever heard.
Well,
But I don't cry when sea rats hug it out and say, I'll see you again.
I think possibly an even straighter thing would be I cried the other day at the treatment of Manchester United's goalkeeper. That really made me cry. And my wife said, "What's going on?"
Yeah, you're right. You win. You win.
I'm playing a game that nobody wants me to play anymore, so let's stop.
I want to piggyback on what you said, which is not a gay term, but it sounds like it.
Yeah.
These episodes are fillers. I understand why we need to do them. I personally I wish I could speak for the podcasting recapping community.
Yeah.
That says I want to stop doing final episodes and where I want to stop telling you what happens altogether, and I want to just say, here's our opinions of this, and I don't want to tell you a single fucking thing that happened because nothing happened.
Yeah. You know what we should do moving forward? We should copy and paste our notes into text edit on Apple. And then just have the voice thing, and then just put that out. I mean,
love it.
But
right off the bat
tonight, if I could,
what is the theme of this dinner? Question mark.
ABC
Question mark.
party.
If you guys don't mind, I'd like to give my quick pots real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
This episode was worse than most season finales, and the blame rests solely on Gary's shoulders. Gary's hissy fit tonight destroys any hope we had of one last ball of snakes in a thin puddle of water. We needed everyone up in that jacuzzi. We needed cheersing, fucking, sucking. But what did we get? We got pouty Gary Pants, and shame on Mads for giving a fuck.
I know.
Come on, Mads. I thought you were a fucking kingpin like that.
Go ahead, Jake.
It took away all the power she had the entire episode when she said, I need to go tell Gary that I made out with Alex.
Why?
And she's been saying from moment one, we're just having fun. And then when the producer said, she's like, I wish I would just known Mads wasn't really into me. And the producer's like, yeah, she's been telling you every fucking episode we can show you tape.
I love that producer so much.
And by the way, Jake, I completely agree with you. So she despised Gary. It was just all fun. And then I'd love to interview her. Well, I'm sure Andy Cohen will ask her. Why did you feel the need to track Gary down to his room?
I know why.
You go ahead.
He was drunk.
That true. That too. And I want to also say that there's a part of Mads in all of us that, and Mads is a part of Gary and her that it is hard for there's a part of her that she hates. And that's the part that wants to fuck Gary.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because it's the part that I need to feel validated because I need something sexual to validate me.
Yeah.
So she'll fuck anything on the boat. She was going. This is the thing. She was going to do this with anyone on the boat. It just happened to be Gary.
Yeah.
Which good for her.
And also,
you're getting yours.
He was very aggressive right off the bat. Had Alex taken that role, it would have been Alex.
I kind of co-signed that, but just because we we're not as gay as Jake, so we can't co-sign that aggressively.
You're a little bit less gay.
A little bit less gay. But yeah, no, Mads was looking for love in a hopeless place, like that one Rihanna song, which is what to this day one of the sexiest, one of the sexiest music videos of all time. And I don't know if that model in that video killed somebody. I don't know where he went, but one of the most stunning human beings I've ever seen.
No, you're not talking. No, the sexiest girl in a video ever.
No, I'm talking about a man.
Oh, I was.
Who is the most sexiest man in a video for you, Pat?
Dylan showed me a Kanye West video where this girl is sitting on a chair.
Oh, it's Tiana Taylor. She's fantastic.
Holy shit, that's hot.
Yeah.
Beautiful body.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to get away from the ladies talk. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think I'd blow Keanu.
It feels a little homophobic.
Yeah. Sorry to be so hateful.
Yeah. No. I'd blow Keanu Reeves.
It feels a little hateful.
All right, so I would give the season finale the 1 pot. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ooh.
How about you, Jake?
20 on a scale from 1 to 100.
Yeah. Again, just really quickly, I wanted to shoehorn in one more thing. Listen, I know that people love Daisy. We love Daisy, kind of.
Yeah.
I am fucking here with Daisy.
Me too.
I
hit it with this season.
I am so fucking tired of Daisy getting a pass, tormenting Gary, tormenting Colin, being melodramatic about stuff. I've had it with Daisy.
Okay.
And it's worse because she suffers at her job. And because she takes everything so motherfucking personally that everything about her job reflects on her.
Chill out.
And that's why, and I'm going to say this, and I'm someone who likes Daisy, and I think she's great TV.
Yeah.
She's not a great chief stew.
Oh,
bottom line.
Oh my God! You know what a great chief stew wouldn't say? The radios don't work in the galley. Daisy, come on. We know that's bullshit.
Talk
think
about
Daisy.
Oh, go ahead, Jake.
I think Daisy works on Sailing Yacht because it's chaotic.
Boom.
If Daisy was on Below Deck OG, she would make it 1 season.
Yeah. Wow. That is. I don't want to just grab onto that as voraciously as I want to, but I do. I have to follow my heart.
I'm telling you, the chaoticness and the messiness and the personal, emotional things of Daisy losing her shit. Daisy is the things falling out of the cabinets every time they heal is Daisy's emotional state.
Yeah.
It goes perfectly with the show.
Jake, let me ask you this. Dylan and I have talked about this. So being on season 3 of your stint on a Bravo show, I think that definitely has a part to play in her apathy towards her job.
She's wearing the mink coat in public.
When she let Tim bleed out in that
she's wearing the mink in public.
I think she was clearly thinking, I'm bigger than working on this boat. And
she was.
Yeah. And Captain Glenn was like, hey, a guy was bleeding for a half an hour. And she was like, would you stop making me cry? And it's like, what the fuck? What's going on? But and also,
what about me and my problems with Gary and Colin?
When I say she's manipulating Gary and Colin, I understand that it's messy, and I'm not absolving Gary of anything. Obviously, Gary is the tip of the spear of piece of shit here.
Yes.
But I think Daisy's gotten a pass because I think she's been awful to both of them.
Right. And here's another ding on her. So at the top of this episode, right as this episode starts, Daisy tells Colin unequivocally she is with him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and that's what he needs to hear. And she's not about Gary's mind games anymore. But somehow Daisy continues to be pulled into small places with Gary.
Ugh.
Yep.
And she needs to slap him in the face if we are going to be on Daisy's side and say, this is how you tell this guy, I don't want to be pulled in these small places anymore with your lips smashed up against my Irish lips. Deteriorating
there are these little. I got distracted because I saw a thing today from Michael Pollan or Pollock about the specific kind of potato that McDonald's uses, and it can't have any blemishes in it. And the only way to achieve that is to put a pesticide called Monitor on it. It's just horrific stuff. Just
you down BitChute?
Wow.
I'm not on BitChute anymore, okay? I know that there are satanic child sacrifices happening at the bottom of Buckingham Palace. I don't need to explore that any further, all right?
Who doesn't know that?
Yeah.
That's
Sheep don't know that. But there are things that Daisy has been doing throughout the season that are so loud, but she doesn't get called out on them. The fingers on
other seasons.
The fingers on Gary's cheek, we talked about it when he pulled her into a corner. And then today or tonight, the last goodbye they have is this purgatorial zone that you can, I guess, get by with. But to anybody really looking at it objectively, it's fucking inappropriate if you're committing to Colin.
Mm-hmm. And Colin even said, the way I heard that Gary basically was telling me that you were asking why I wasn't chasing Mads, and Daisy turned it into kind of like trying to say, well, that's him. I don't know if he's good for my relationship. No, she is doing that covertly to take him out of the equation because she's worried about what he will be. It is not because she cares about who Mads is or his relationship with Mads. She is trying to eliminate him as someone from her life because she can't do it in any other way.
But I also think she still wants to keep that pot on the simmer.
Mm-hmm. She's into him.
Perfect English.
She is into him. Her sister told her so.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
We love Bonnie. Bonnie's a real drunk.
Fucking Bonnie.
Bonnie, I know you're still listening. You need to go to AA because you're a drunk. You have a problem.
I felt so bad. We put out a clip where, and I cut that Pat said she was a gargoyle. I cut that out of the social clip, but I mean, Bonnie commented, you guys know me, and it broke my heart. And
gargoyle.
Okay. All right. So, Pat, did you give any pots?
I hated this episode. 0.
All right, so
wow,
we end with the I'm not going to be Gary's friend anymore conversation with Daisy. V dramatic, and this is the pitfall of the throuple. No one cares enough about any relationship on Below Deck enough to have these kinds of melodramatic conversations. Did I say that right?
Yeah,
it's getting
you
late.
did. I hope this is the last. Like, I love Gary having sex with broken people that come out of Florida and in the guest list.
Who doesn't?
Everybody loves that.
Yeah, I don't. Why break formula? This show's been on for 10 goddamn years.
Yeah.
There was 5 iterations of it. Now there's only 4 because we got rid of Adventure or whatever the fuck. But
is that coming back?
Adventure's not coming back because we took Captain Gary to replace old Captain Lee, who was
Get a new
Captain Gary. Yeah,
Get a new captain and don't hire a bunch of fucking dorks. Don't have dorks on this show. They need to be hot and they need to fuck each other. They can't be fucking dorks.
Here.
God,
listen to that.
Damn it.
That's how we cast for Below Deck. They need to fuck each other.
Look, the formula works. The throuple is the first time we ever saw like an arc of like people being in love for more than 3 episodes. I never want to see it again.
All right. I feel like we're so hot right now. We're going to go longer again. We got to go through
I'm going to take it down. I'm going to take it down.
All right.
All right. What the fuck is the theme of this party?
It's the ABC.
Lucky is wearing a trash bag.
Okay. All right. So
I was confused about everything here.
Yeah.
And I'm gay.
So
the theme is air out your balls.
The theme is anything but clothing. And the thing with Lucky is that her haunches are sweating because she's in trash bags. And I was kind of pissed off at Daisy because Daisy does not have sweaty haunches because she's not in a trash bag. Her underlings are in trash bags, and I don't understand this. The underlings have to flush live shit down while their haunches are sweating, and Daisy just gets to serve a such a bizarre dish. This is such an Alicia dish. And I love Alicia, but
are you going to go through the courses?
I'm getting ahead of myself, but don't say cultivated.
What do you have to do?
There's one cultivated and there's one fresh. That's just a bizarre
Cultivated or oysters.
just say Kumamoto's. Just say they're Kumamoto's. Nobody will know the difference. So yes, this is what the fuck is fucking happening.
While you're doing that, I'm going to do a meanwhile. Meanwhile, Deborah, that's Brad's mom. She visits Glenn in the bridge over there. And Glenn, he whispers in her ear. He's like, "Get out of here! I'm not going to do this to you." Right. Jake, Dylan and I are convinced that Glenn kills women.
Convinced is too soft a word.
We know that Glenn kills prostitutes in Europe on his free time because he's such a nice guy. He needs to burn off some of that energy, and then healing is not enough because a steak knife has not gone through a crew member's face yet.
Agreed. So it needs to be a sex worker because he pays for it. So it needs to,
I love Jake's picking up what we're throwing down.
Yeah.
And when he says, I'm going to take these cookies for a test drive, that's his. That is one of the things he tells the dead sex workers.
I don't know why people can't see this.
Yes, Jake, Kaylin, Dylan, and I. No, Glenn, I know you listen. You are killing people, okay? This is a dateline in 20 years. Keith Morrison will be dead. It doesn't matter.
Lester Holt won't be. He's on that show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think it only makes sense. Canadians are nice until they're deadly. That's all I need to say.
Oh, I love that. Hey, I heard a good a Canadian joke. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this, but how do you get 5 Canadians out of a pool? Ask them to.
Because they're so polite.
Yeah.
Hey, tell that Guinness Book joke.
Oh, Jake, do you want to hear another joke?
Sure.
Oh, okay. No, I don't want to.
Tell him. It's funny.
Okay, my penis was in the Guinness Book of World Records, and the librarian said, "Can you please take your penis out of the Guinness Book of World Records?"
I know where this is going.
That's it. That's the joke. That's the joke.
Because he went to the library.
Like, in other words, because your penis is in the Guinness Book.
Yeah. And if you want to keep going, she's like, it's really weird that you keep closing it and opening it, and it's really inappropriate to do that in a public place. And I'm going to call the police soon. All right, we have to do the show.
All right.
That is such a millennial reference because everyone else goes, "What's the Guinness Book of World Records?"
I remember,
and then you have to explain it to them. Like Kaylin's like, "Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that is." Go suck a dick.
All right, so the pasta dish looks absolutely disgusting. It is a Candyland pappardelle.
Okay. We need to stop dyeing our pasta colors.
Thank you.
I don't care if it's for gay people. I don't care if it's for anyone. You don't need to dye. Pasta is hard enough to make well. I don't need it dyed.
Thank you so much. And also, this may be controversial, but let's stop with this fresh pasta fad. Okay?
It's very difficult.
It's too difficult, and also it is not toothsome. It's mushy. Okay.
Toothsome.
God damn it! Everything about this dish pisses me off. Fucking 15 pots. All right, so we play a little game, not unlike anal ring toss, where they throw coat hangers
cock ring
at Gary. They cut this down to 15 seconds, but I think it
was 3 hours.
I think it took at least 25 minutes. Gary's just sitting there like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
Gays have no hand and eye coordination because they can never catch a ball. So
there are good gay athletes, right?
Absolutely, definitely in the NFL.
Not a ton of baseball players. Not a lot of. We don't have a lot of good hand-eye coordination.
Yeah. Me neither.
For me, when I was in the t-ball field, I could throw a ball, but I was afraid when it came at my face because I was afraid it would hit my moneymaker.
Of course.
So I protected my face with my glove, and it would fall out, and my coach would go, "God damn it, Jake!"
Yeah. Well, I still have a scar on my nose from getting hit in the face with a baseball. So you were good to protect yourself.
I could play soccer though. and because I could run from the big kids who wanted to beat me up.
Yeah, that's all you have to do. You have to be evasive and you have to have a touch. And Cristiano Ronaldo's bi, but not quite gay. So, anyways, dinner is pasta and oysters. Now, I know that I went over dinner, but I just want to say once again, the final dinner of the season is pasta and oysters. And that's shame on you, Bravo, because there had to have been courses that got cut. It's a goddamn shame. So Colin and Gary have a little pep talk.
Oh, forgive me. I pointed this out in the last episode. This is the bullshit lie that Gary does.
Right. And Gary tells Colin that this is just such a shitty thing to say to somebody. This isn't something that anybody who loves the other person would ever say. It could end in disaster, or you guys. It's like a weird Rod Serling kind of thing. Like, well, I don't understand why he has to be like.
He's a slimy sea rat.
Why are you predicting what's going to happen here? It's just fucking stupid. Jake, sorry, I'm rambling.
You're fine.
It's so late.
You care a lot about food.
All right. So while Daisy and Chase pray for the next 24 hours, they get a little surprise.
Oh.
And guys, that's where my note ends. And to be honest, I don't know what the surprise was.
Now, it's a surprise. Grant and Todd take a piss off the boat, which I would have done too.
Oh,
and they're naked.
Yeah, that's right.
And they're naked.
That's right.
By the way, in the last episode, Todd, I think, tried to give Grant a handy.
It was either that or they were fingering each other on the boat.
A hand job is so underrated. Who needs to be mixing this up with, sex on whatever? I miss a good hand job. Sorry.
No.
Want to talk about a wild tangent?
It is.
It's quaint.
It's a dish best served warm.
Yeah.
Obviously, but
like a hot pocket.
It's unfortunate that has fallen out of fashion. And sometimes all you want is a handy, because it just takes too much time for a blowy, and there's a lot less work involved.
And there's too much separation. I like the idea of kissing and working each other over.
The thing that you have to be comfortable with is knowing concretely and confidently that that person is okay and they want to do this to you. Because
Agree.
At the 12th minute, you could get a little worried about them, and you can't have that.
That's true. And it can feel like you're just like doing this so much. And when you start hearing the other person go,
Yeah.
long sighs,
right?
I'm going to say this to women and men out there. If you're receiving a handy and you're hearing long sighs, just fake it till you make it, and help them out along the way, because they're trying their best. They are getting carpal tunnel.
Yeah, just get up and go, oh my God, I'm coming. I came in my hand and I'm going to go wash it out in the sink now.
Exactly. Oh, I came on my chest. You didn't see it. Oh.
I came in your hair. You didn't even feel that. All right. So next day. Alex wakes up.
Galen, you can use that.
Alex wakes up with a new vigor. 24 hours, and Gary is no longer his boss. Perfect, because Mads is closer than ever to throwing up in her mouth at the sight of Gary.
I want to say this. Alex, you pussed out, buddy. I know.
Big time.
You pussed out, you big wuss.
This guy, I'm going to say this. This type of lazy hot straight guy is an abomination.
I completely agree, man.
It's an abomination.
He's too good looking for his own good. He realizes he can walk into an airport flying back.
He's too afraid to work because he's afraid of rejection.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's
100%. It's not about Gary. It's about him being afraid of rejection, him being so fragile. That whole tantra thing about multiple orgasms.
Oh, God.
That is some ridiculous sensitive man 21st century bullshit.
I love that you said that. It's such fucking... You know how many fucking books there are out there that have untold fantasies and lessons? Don't read that. You don't need to come multiple times. Come once.
Hey, it's Adrian from season 4.
Yeah, exactly.
You like my meat?
You know what? If you can come more than... I will say this. As a man who has slept with a few other men in my time.
Yeah.
If you can come right after that, that is a talent.
Yeah.
Know this. Not all men are ready for that.
Right.
Or women are ready for it to come again.
Yeah.
So I understand the idea of it and that you're trying to better yourself, but it comes across as trying too much.
And we can't all be Sting.
Here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
I don't mind if you want to have a raucous evening where you do cocaine, you're up for 8 hours, and you just fuck away at each other. There are multiple sessions, and you come multiple times. But
Not on coke.
to try to biohack and figure out how to fucking shut the levees down and then come again, it's just like life's too short.
It feels artificial and it feels unfair.
I completely agree. It's fucking unfair. Let's. So we're on the next day.
All right. So a couple things happen here. Breakfast is served. Guests continue to be gross slobs with their living quarters. Gary
They're
linger.
fucking disgusting.
They are gay men. All right. Here's. Sorry, this has been so.
How did we make such a mess? Because you're fucking pigs.
Okay.
That's how.
Go to West Hollywood.
I'm worried.
Every yard where a gay couple live, it's the most manicured thing you've ever seen in your goddamn life. Have you ever been on Santa Monica Boulevard, if you ever visited here as a listener in Los Angeles?
At 3 a.m.?
Well, I was going to say, Santa Monica Boulevard looks beautiful. It's manicured. It's lovely. What the fuck's up with these three? Shit in the fucking toilet, piss on the fucking ceiling?
The thing is, everything's fine until you're entitled gay and you don't really care about how it looks when you're filmed. I guarantee you there was some sex going on, and I'm going to say this to those of you who aren't initiated into the worlds of gay sex. It can be a little messy, and there may be towels with things on them. However,
I think you're talking about feces.
I'm talking about feces, and very astute. And I'm saying there's a way to do it and not leave them out. There's a way to have feces on a towel and maybe wrap the feces part underneath.
Right.
I was pretty horrified at this whole segment, and I swing that way.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, I was going to say, Jake, my wife and I, we have a 3-year-old. We call her Hurricane Ellie. When we're at a breakfast table, she rips the whole fucking thing apart.
That's what she does.
And before we leave, we clean the entire thing up to cover our tracks up and pretend to be not good people, good citizens.
You pretend to be something you're not because that's what we do.
I could not leave my room to go up to the dinner and leave shit, piss, cum everywhere.
Well, you also can't get a blowjob if your balls smell like the day. But we have to move on. True. We're supposed to do this episode in 31 minutes.
Oh, sorry.
All right.
We're having a great time.
No, I know. We're having a great time. So let's get to a little conversation with Mads. This is the Gary turns into a bit of like a poltergeist here. He's like a creepy poltergeist. And it's like, hey, God fucking damn it. Why are you always here? Like, what do I need to do? But he's like, so what are we? And
he wants to know the future plans.
Well, yes.
This is when the patron saint of reason and of this finale, the producer says, in so many words, I fucking hate you.
And it's a woman who is in her 40s and has lived with men like this and has filmed men like this. And she's just like, I just need to expose you for who you are.
Yeah. She's happily married, I think, and hates him. So we dock for our last time.
Well, we got one more last sailing.
Oh, God.
Another heel.
Mm-hmm. And this is where we find out that Lucy is truly cursed.
Yeah.
Because a drawer opens up, a steak knife flies out, and it nearly almost hit her head.
Yeah.
It's been Patty's dream.
I really do think you're correct that Lucy is like barely avoiding death in every single episode.
No,
like how has she not been hit by the mizzen when she's up on deck? How?
There is a kind of there's a biblical war for her soul going on. There are angels protecting her. There are demons trying to kill her, and she's She has no fucking idea what's going on.
She's like the simplest person in the world, and she's just, God has decided this is the one I'm gonna like put all my money on.
She is Middle Earth.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
She is Middle Earth.
They're playing, God and Satan are playing for her soul.
Yeah. Something so pure. All right, so Gary, did you have a good time? Oh, they say, did you have a good time? I go, kind of.
The guest apart?
Yeah. The Ray really fucked it up, but yeah. The throuple seemed to ruin this charter. Gary has a little flip out, and Glenn says, I wanted to throw to you when Glenn says there were a couple times I didn't think we were going to make it. You know, it's gone understated, and Pat has brought this up numerous times. The negligent and the deceit of the crew of Parsnips with this boat being completely inoperable.
At any time, it could have killed everyone. It could have lit on fire, and there's not fire engines that can roll out here and put the thing.
This boat needs to go to the trash heap.
Yeah, it just does.
Yeah,
it just.
She needs to go to Davy Jones' locker.
Yeah, 100%.
It's time.
And Glenn's like, "Oh, we had a couple scares." It's like, Glenn, you almost killed everybody, man. Why are you speaking
You
like
had
that?
like 11 scares. It wasn't like 2. There were, and I fully understand that we make a big deal every time something happens, but like we're talking black smoke, like flooding out the chimney.
Yeah,
like the boat can't leave the dock.
Yeah.
Or how about like engines don't work, and then you're trapped out in the middle of the ocean, left with just the tender and either the sails or wind.
Yeah.
By the way, I think there's a reason why. If there were going to be children, and Below Deck has had children and families on these charters before,
they don't let children on sailing yacht.
They would
Thank God.
never, because if they had allowed that this season, everybody would have been in an uproar. Like, how dare you? But because it's just a bunch of sassy gays, the last 2 charters are like, fuck them. If they die, they die.
Fuck them. Gays' lives are worth nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
I also will say,
disgusting.
I believe the insurance on Parsifals 3 is $25 million.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet.
It's the only way that they would allow people on this boat.
And Colin's like, it's okay, let's just dump some sand in the engine, see if that sucks shit up. All right, so Alex and Chase talk about Lord of the Flies, and Gary, he is too thin to be Piggy, but they do want to kind of kill him in that way. And then
to be Piggy.
And then we get to the tip meeting. Pat, take it away.
17.5. Very, very light for shitting in a toilet.
Very light.
Shitting on the ceiling.
I could have told you this, and I guarantee you the throuple gave none of it.
Yeah. You know, I hesitate to do this because it's likely offensive, because the gay community is like any other community. There are 10% of people who are incredible, 10% of people who are complete assholes, and 80% of people
You're saying about any group.
About any group.
That's generous.
Are gays... Do gays take pride in tipping well?
They're very great tippers.
Usually not. We are better tippers than normal.
Okay.
100%.
But these are not normal gays. These are asshole gays. These are gays who are they're on television and they're happy to be trolls. Sadly.
So weird.
The Burning Man gays, I guarantee you probably gave, I don't know. I have a feeling that I don't know any of the inside info here. I have a feeling that they probably agreed to split some of it.
Yeah.
And at the last minute, the throuple said, we're only going to give them $5,000.
Yeah.
And I think they probably were going to give them like $22,000. Something like that.
Yeah, it's like Chuck and Erica. They're like,
worst.
We threw in 2,300. What's up with you guys?
God, I really wanted to get Grant on the show.
That's okay. We'll talk to Grant. So,
I want to like send me a DM. I want to know what he says, because I have a feeling they took. I'm almost certain they took Brad because he was a client.
Yeah, that's question number one.
It's a business relationship. It's not a personal relationship.
So, lending more credence to our concrete knowledge of Glenn's crimes, he says he's going to sleep off the boat so that he can get a good night's sleep. He has been itching.
Yeah, he's
for
sleeping
weeks.
with the head of a sex worker he's just murdered.
But I will say this: he shows up.
Thank you for getting on board with
Thanks,
this.
dude.
I like it how I said that, and Caitlin went, "Yeah, that's a little scary. Y'all watch out for Caitlin."
No, I know.
I was disappointed that Glenn, and I think this is the second time he's done this, shows up to the final dinner to basically try and create drama with some stupid questions.
It's true. I hate this shit. I hate this team building garbage. I hate us to say what went right, what went wrong. I hate it.
Mm-hmm. And it's such a. I'm trying to find an analog, but highs and lows is a very, very dangerous game. It's a very, very fucking dangerous game. Cringiest line of the night goes to Gary. I think he toasts or gives a shot, and he says, "One for my girlfriend." Gary. That's it.
Get used to being rejected, Gary.
All right.
You loser.
Okay. All right. So
Gain a few more pounds, get redder. Your fucking life will be over. You red face,
So
losing your
red.
hair,
What
reject.
is that? What
I'm sorry. You
is
triggered
that?
something in me. I'm sorry.
Take
Sorry.
it easy.
I'm
God
losing my
damn
mind
it,
right
man.
now.
You're seeing black or red or whatever it is.
I feel like you're about to do a scene from Good Will Hunting, Pat. Just like
I'm
at
Robin
any
Williams?
moment. Yeah.
It's
at
not your
any
fault.
moment,
I
you're
know.
going to.
It's not your fault. I know.
No.
No, it's not your fault.
No, you know what you are? You're Jack Nicholson at the end of A Few Good Men. You fucking had it. People don't understand the lengths you go to protect this country.
You goddamn right I did.
All right, so
I'm like the only gay person who knows a few good men.
So of course the dangerous part of this game is Daisy crying. And I understand that Daisy has had a tough season, but thank you for groaning, because the only appropriate reaction to this is to groan.
Yep.
Because it's groan worthy. God damn it, Daisy.
Because we all have to support her, and we all have to tell her it was okay. And that's as a chief stew, we should not have to be doing that.
100%. We should not be toasting to you, and your introspection, because the stakes are not that fucking high. You're wiping up shit, and you're
a fucking manager. I'm
Right.
sorry. This is the thing. People have come at me about talking about Kate Chastain, about how she was the ultimate I said she was the ultimate chief stew because she only showed about 20% of who she was, and the rest was and to the guests, and the rest was to the crew, and she never really showed who she was. That wasn't a great reality show. I said that's because she was a fucking professional.
Yeah. There's
That's
a
it.
reason why she's the queen of the sea and why she had the longevity on the show that she had.
And technically took over the franchise very early on.
Oh, yeah. The show would
Took
be
it
nothing
over.
without Kate. So Maddie Healy of the 1975 comes over to bring the Sea Rats to their table.
I know that reference, and it's destroying me.
And Glenn heads off to kill horse.
Kill.
All right, so veggies and 12 different kinds of meats are going to be served. Chase and Gary have a little conversation, and Chase says, listen, I want to tell him off, but I think it's best to not burn bridges. The only thing that's not that admirable about it is that you've been, I don't know, it's like giving a cell phone to Christopher Columbus or something like that. It's like Chase doesn't understand that he's being filmed and what a reality television show is. It's like, just say he's a fucking asshole. It'll be better TV.
All right, he could have a
Like
great
giving
moment.
an iPhone to a dog.
Yes.
You're right.
He could have a
It
great
is.
moment like that, but I don't think in the bigger picture it would be a great moment for him. I think he should just, disappear into.
He's actually thinking about what's going to be for him social media wise, which
Yeah.
is what everyone's thinking about on these shows.
Yeah. Well, I think that if we could see that this was not going to be a ball of snakes kind of night from the meal, you can't have this much meat and
Have sex.
No, it's too much churrasco.
It's too much fucking. What the fuck are the producers doing? You can't have a churrascaria on the last night. We need them to fuck each other. They
Yes.
can't be stuffed with picanha. They're going to smell bad.
No, it needs to be sushi or nothing else.
That's
I
it.
don't know why, because no one's gonna fuck someone with a belly full of meat.
No, you can't do
Yep.
it. We talked about it
Nope.
the other night when you're at dinner with your wife and it's been like a week and you're like, we need to have sex tonight. And then she orders the hummus and You're like, that's 52 chickpeas. You're not going to want to. It's not good.
Or she's on the way home. She's like, "Do you mind hitting Jack in the box?" You're like, "Oh, I'm fucked."
There's a really great Cazzie David, who is Larry David's daughter.
Love her.
Has an essay called "Too Full to Fuck."
Yeah.
And it really is like when you're out with someone and they're ordering like blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah, this is great. I love eating, but I also love having sex."
Right.
And so I have to decide, am I going to eat if I want to fuck?
Right.
And there is a time. It doesn't matter if you are male, female, anywhere in between. There is a point where if you've eaten too much, you cannot fuck.
No
That
way.
is
You
just it.
Your belly.
You can.
Well,
if you want to go to the Taco Bell, you can. Bring the Taco Bell home. It is not going to be that much better or worse, lukewarm.
Fuck and then
go.
and then it'll be the best meal you ever had.
Yeah. And also
100%. This could save so many relationships. What you're saying right now.
And also, let's acknowledge the public service that Cazzie David did for fucking Pete Davidson. Pete Davidson can go fuck himself because he used Cazzie David as a trampoline, and I just don't think people give Cazzie David enough credit because she's funnier than Pete Davidson and she has more to offer society.
The book of essays is fantastic. I would highly recommend it.
She's Larry David's daughter. How could she not be better than Pete Davidson?
Exactly.
Fucking stop hiring him. I'm so fucking over it.
Can you believe we're going to do
and
45 minutes on this dumb episode?
No, I
love it.
I know. I'm really sorry.
I love it.
Jake, I'm very
I'm
sorry.
good. I'm good. I'm here with you.
Okay, so we get back to the boat and there is what are we doing? The kiss heard not round the world.
And it didn't look good.
No.
Can I just say that?
No.
I don't know if Alex is a great kisser.
Obviously, he wasn't because why is she running to Gary? She should have been like, that turned me on. Let's go fucking
This is where
get it on.
I don't want to be gross like this, but 7s are better in bed than 9s.
Thank you for saying that.
Because they have to work hard.
And it is it's completely true.
Yeah.
And I would tell you that 6.5s are better in bed than 9.5s.
Yeah, 100%.
Even much so.
Yeah.
Because I have had in my time, I've had 6s that have definitely been better than 9s.
Yeah. And if you do find a 9.5 who is as good as a 6.5 in bed,
marry them.
And when you do marry them, what will happen is you will have a highly publicized court hearing, a la Amber Heard and Johnny Depp.
That's true.
Yeah.
You're right there, which is why I have had so many legal troubles.
There will be cryptic messages written in blood or shit on the mirror at various different points. All right, so we have to, for some reason, go and tell Gary about this kiss, and this ruins the entire night.
Of why this happened.
I have a theory, Jake. There's still a hierarchy of being Bravo talent. And
good point.
This was her moment, I think, because she got banged by him, intimate, but she kind of hated him and grossed out by him, like old, disgusting, gross guy. Still felt like she needed to have her moment with the talent.
Yeah.
And also, Gary, he doesn't pass, he doesn't step over the line, but he
gets
close to being.
Get out of my room. He's like Ozzy Osbourne.
He's getting a little too close to being handsy
and aggressive.
It's bad, and this is one of those things where I just go, I'm glad we didn't see the full edit.
Yeah, yeah, because Below Deck is one of those shows that I don't know how they get away with it, but
it's one of the least edited shows. Supposedly.
Well, and also it's one of the least punished shows because they
do crazy shit.
We've had the N-word said to people. We've had, no heads.
Unless you're Love After Lockup, and then you can do every fucking.
Right.
Jake, by the way, we don't know if we can do that show anymore. Jake, season 1 of Below Deck, We heard there was
fuck.
episode 3 of season 1 is deleted because it was so homophobic or something.
Homophobic, and there's been transphobic episodes too. Yeah.
100%. But Love After
Well, you got
Lockup.
fucking South African crew. You got Brew Crew, who are just like the most racist fucking people in the world.
Yeah. I think it's not known by enough people that South Africa is. Well, maybe it is.
It is. I'm not going to call it a country.
Yeah.
But if you want to know, let's just say a lot of the people think extremely provincially.
Yeah, I would say, and this is a little hyperbolic, but South Africa makes Missouri look like the Castro district.
Makes it look like Portland.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
so
that's a good way to put it.
Chase and Alicia have another hug.
Wasn't going to happen.
Never going to happen.
But
appreciate the effort, Chase.
I think they're perfect for one another. Next day, we find out that Alex has been reading about multi-orgasmic men.
Goodbye.
I'm trying to see if there's anything we need.
Nothing.
To
the
talk.
only noteworthy thing was the goodbye to Gary.
I want to bring up one thing that they said. I believe that Lucy said this. There was no fighting in interiors at all. And I think that's a first for below deck sailing yacht.
Yeah, and you know what? I think it's a testament to. I hate to give her credit, but I think it's a testament to Daisy.
It is, and having two women who are very new.
Yeah,
and knowing they need to team up instead of compete with one another.
And even rarer, the competition was not needed because Lucky and Mads were great together, and it was fine.
Yeah,
great
totally.
pointing that out. Yeah.
Great pointing that out.
It worked because they were different enough.
Yep.
Yeah. And also it's fascinating to see angels and demons fight for the heart of one human being. I mean, we've never seen that before on the show. Jake, we love you so much. Thank you for hanging in there with us.
Thank you, guys. This is wonderful.
This was
I'm so
Jake's
happy to talk to you
18th
both.
podcast. This was Dylan and I's 9th today.
Jake is a warrior in the vein of Xena and or Hercules.
This was podcast 10 for me, but yeah, it's fine.
And we love all of you for listening. It's been a great season.
Thank you so much. This is wonderful. This completes our season. We'll see you for the reunion next time.
Yep. Is Maddie going to be back for the reunion?
He will be back for the reunion.
Good. Well, I hope all of the Reality Gaze fans are champing at the bit for that.
Reality Gaze. Okay.
Reality Gaze,
RealityGaze.com, Reality Gaze Podcast on Instagram, Reality Gaze Pod on Twitter, Reality Gaze on TikTok.
And to our fans,
or their fans that are listening to us,
but
Bad TV or another Below Deck podcast.
Yeah, 100%. And to our fans, please go over there, leave 5 stars, kind words.
Please leave them a review, y'all.
Tell them we sent you. Jake, we love you very much. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. And y'all, we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.
Au
Really
revoir.
fun.